So you've got this concept outline that, if you choose to work in this way, you've started developing and you've written down your little notes, and you've got things grouped where you think they need to go. So what's a fully developed concept? You know, where does that fully developed concept come from? And that's a matter of personal opinion. You know, a good rule of thumb is to consider how you enter into the presentation of the concept and if the concept has been fleshed out with no important qualities of the concept being left out. If you leave out important qualities of a concept, you could leave a sense of incompleteness for the rest of the concept. And so no matter how well the rest of the concept is developed, if you leave that sense of being unfinished, it may just make the rest of it hogwash. So when you're working on developing your concepts for scripts, what you want to do is really get a feel for how complete it is. Have I addressed all of these aspects that about this thing? You know, have I addressed everything about this cannonball? Have I addressed everything about this broccoli? You know, and to use the cannonball, if the script addresses the qualities of the cannonball and how there is an action that produces destruction, which most people perceive, this sets up the concept and the coming change in perception based on the object and action. Okay? So if you're using an object, you kind of want to have an action because change is an action and we're trying to get change. If we then address the beauty and simplicity of the object and consider that angle, we get a new perception of the object, and reframing our beliefs on the physical qualities is a good approach. Okay? So what we've done is we've taken the concept of this destructive cannonball and turned it into this simplistic design, this beautiful thing. You know, a cannonball is also an orb. You know, you call something an orb and it's suddenly beautiful. But if we leave the script at that point, by reframing our perception of the cannonball from a destructive thing to a thing of simple beauty and never address the action again, there is an opportunity for leaving the client with a sense of being unfinished in the transformation. The action which was first brought into the client's awareness as destruction might be brought back in by reframing and removing the result of the action. You following me? Okay. What I'm saying is we start out by saying this cannonball is destructive, and we are talking about it being heavy and moving and flying and doing all of that. That's the qualities we think of as the cannonball and the perception of destruction. And it's an action thing. We take the qualities, the physical qualities, reframe them into something more attractive, and then bring the action back in by kind of taking away the destructive quality of it, saying that this cannonball can move with a breath of air. The destructive action of it flying through the air and hitting a building is now replaced with the action of the breath, moving it gently. So if you leave without addressing the action that you already brought into their mind, because we started the concept with a thing and an action. If we just come back to the thing, there's this action hanging out over here. So we want to bring the action back somewhere and reframe it too. So we reframe the result of the action, focusing on the fact that the object is powerless unless it's put into motion, but you're in control of the motion. Now, if in the moment of the session the client might need the destructive qualities reframed even further, you might address the idea that in the aftermath of war and destruction, there's always a period of energized regrowth, rebuilding, making things newer, stronger, better, more protected, and that builds on the intended action.